Welcome back. 9:13 is your time. Between household chores, a full-time workload, paying bills, chauffeuring your children back and forth to a dozen different activities. On top of all that, somebody left the doggy door open. It is understandable that you would be a little stressed out. Well, licensed psychologist and author Dr. Erik joins us this morning, and he says with a little consistency, organization, and follow-through, you can make it through without spiraling out of control. And you say it all begins with a plan.
It does. I think we all need to recognize that in today's busy life, we need a plan, because failing to plan is planning to fail. And when we look at setting up, basically what we're talking about today is a time management chart, not just for your child, but for the whole family. You really want to make sure that you're very thorough and consistent in what you set up throughout that chart and how you really track your day.
We have a picture of it, actually. We're going to full screen it because it is line item, almost minute by minute, what you should be doing. I mean, look at that. When you wake up, when you brush your teeth, when you take the kids to school, everything.
Well, what you're preparing your kids for is for the rest of their life. And so many times we see people who are organized really have a lot less stress in their lives. So when we look at helping our kids to learn time limits for certain things they need to do and the time frames of which things need to get done, it helps them understand time, which often kids don't understand time. It also sets a sequence for the day so that they start to learn orderly ways to function. As I said, I don't see our world slowing down much, especially for our kids as they get older. So you might as well recognize everything they do during the day, as well as recognize the order and sequence they do those things in.
What if my strength is organization, but say my spouse is not, I mean, what if we're just on totally different pages? That's my strength, that's his weakness.
Well, I think we have to understand that in order to set up a really firm behavioral plan, we need to look at our strengths and weaknesses and assess those up front, because you're right, some people's plan is skills organization. That's my wife's. Mine necessarily isn't, which is why I create these plans and things like this, because I know by knowing my weaknesses, I know it can help other people. And as we look at those pieces together and we let her strengths become my strengths by her teaching me, you know, then that helps me and that helps our children, because their strengths out of the box aren't necessarily going to be organization. So
Speaking of the children, are they watching you? Like, how's mommy and daddy handling the stress? Are they looking and taking their cues from you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's again where we also have to understand to be aware of how we handle stress, because most of what our kids learn, the language of life that they learn is often at home first, and then they often learn that language outside in the world. So we have to be careful of what they're seeing on both fronts, but mainly our front as parents, because we're teaching them the first language they're going to speak. So if you react to stress with anger or yelling or screaming or being short-tempered, versus if you react with calmness and consistency and you talk things through, those are things they're going to see and learn. Even if their initial temperament might be quick to temper, but you teach them calmness and you teach them how to manage how they feel, that's going to lead to a much better outcome.
Let's just get real life here. There's a woman, we asked all of our viewers to just send questions to you, and there's a woman on our Facebook page named Keisha. She's trying, she really is, but her funds are limited. She really doesn't know what to do. You know, what can she do realistically?
Well, I think the difficulty is money is a definite issue in terms of being able to manage our household expenses and also wanting to be able to do things with our kids. I think the thing that Keisha wants to be aware of is make sure that you're finding that time to do things that don't cost money. Go to Toys R Us and find a game to play, or take them to the park and swing in the swings. If we feel like we have to give happiness to our kids through money, we also have to look at the message we're sending them by doing that too. So I think parents have to understand is don't feel the stress to have to spend money on your children for them to find happiness. Happiness comes from here, not in your checkbook, not in your wallet, and not in your handbag.
Oh, that's great advice, definitely. By the way, Dr. E is going to be with us once a month discussing parenting issues, and he's also on our Facebook page chatting live with some of our viewers now. If you have some questions, you're going to be here for a minute.
Absolutely.
I'm talking with some of your viewers, so if you have any questions, just send them his way. For more information on parenting and time management, you can contact Dr. E directly on social media. Just log into our website, myfoxatlanta.com. We will have a link and we should have a conversation. How about that?